What's up, guys? Lord of Mafka, aka Rogan Azran, back at you with another video. And in today's video, I want to talk about why men feel invisible to women. I want to shout out my boy Benzo1K for this video. I appreciate you, dude, and I appreciate all you guys who leave stuff in the comments. And yeah, let's get into the video. When it comes to men feeling invisible to women, to where men just feel like they are non-existent when they're in the presence of women, we really have to look at how much women's standards have increased and the type of emotional and just traumatic issues that a lot of modern women carry nowadays is through the roof. Whenever you're interacting with a woman in today's heavily westernized society in the United States, for example, when you're talking to a woman, it feels like you're literally not talking to anyone but yourself. And this is why so many men have such a hard time trying to connect with women emotionally. Because, for one, these women have been brought up and just programmed to only want men for superficial things like looks, money, height, status, everything that you can name that is just a superficial thing to have. And this is why relationships really don't work anymore, because there's nothing really to build off of. Every time you, as an average man, you try to put your best foot out there, you try to put, effort into having a conversation with a woman, next thing you know, this girl is giving you one word replies. And even on the topic of just going out among women, they don't even look your way. And when women even look at you sometimes, they tend to just give you like a hideous glare, like just the face of disgust. And this is just how the standards of modern women have increased to where they literally view most men as just ants beneath them that they can stomp at will. And you wonder why so many men are giving up on dating, because they're tired of all of the emotional pain. They're tired of all of the heartache that comes with dating. I mean, if you're a man in 2024 trying to date seriously, I mean, you're basically just asking for issues. You're basically asking to be a person that's just heartbroken and sad. And you probably will have the people out there that say, oh, if that's the case, you shouldn't take dating so seriously. I mean, that's a pretty fallacy of an argument, because dating is originally for the purpose of, long-term marriage, reproducing. So when we look at factors like that, people who take dating seriously, they are in the right because they're subscribing to something that is natural in humanity. And I know you're going to have people that say humanity changes, but humanity, when you try to tweak things, they always come to run amok with the human race in general and how our society is. This is why you've seen the fall of so many civilizations, like I said before in my previous videos, like Rome, the Greeks. We could go down the line. There are so many just civilizations that have failed because men and women are not united together. They're not emotionally connecting. They're not having real intimacy that is long lasting. And when you look at these type of problems that are going on in society, you can't help but wonder if everything that you're doing is actually worth anything. And this is another reason why so many men are giving up on just life in general, because the whole drive for men back then were things like family, having actual trustworthy friend group around you, actually having real bonds with people, with your family. These were things that actually made society what it is today. And now that you see that men can't get real relationships with women, they don't even have good bonds with their family nowadays, because it's mostly like everyone's family is separated from each other and people can't even socialize correctly and actually have things in common to where they're getting along, trying to understand each other's viewpoint. When you take away these things from the man being able to have in his life, he's not going to have any real direction of where to go in his life. And that's the thing in today's modern society. So many young men and just men in general are lost because they really don't have any figures in their life that they can look up to have strength, to have fortitude that is a healthy figure in their life. And most of us as, men weren't taught to actually value ourselves. I mean, you can't really value yourself as much when you've been through so much. You're always going to have those old wounds, those scars with the pus of your past just coming back up and just hurting you, keeping your heart, your mind in pain. And this is why I tell you guys, you really have to be only concerned with your well-being for the most part, because the majority of society is not looking to help men in any type of way. They're mostly looking to belittle men that are on the lowest status of the totem pole for when it comes to society's mundane standards of what you should have to be considered a real high value man or just valuable to people around you in general. All of these standards have just really killed dating, and women's standards have really changed the game for dating. Every time you're talking to a woman, if you're still talking to women, you always have to have in the back of your mind, like, okay, this isn't going to work out. I have to get ready for this woman to ghost me. I have to get ready for some type of delay, some type of push and shove. And it should never be that hard to be able to connect with another human being, especially with men and women. This is why you see the culture, wherever it is just heavily westernized, is falling apart rapidly. And I know the Eastern world has a lot of issues as well. And yes, with the whole forced marriage and laws that kind of make men and women, stay in line. But the point is that even during those hard times in, heavily Easternized countries, they still have somewhat of a unity, a family around. They're able to still be able to bond with people and just be able to have natural flowing conversations. Over here in the modern Western world, you see it declining rapidly because there is no foundation, and just the world in general is just going backwards. You know, Even regardless of what culture you're from, you can see that people have so many high expectations they want you to meet, especially for men when it comes to dating women. If you go around a bunch of everyday people and you tell them, oh, I'm having a hard time with dating, and I'm talking about everyday people that are just oblivious to other people's problems because they're experiencing life through a different reality of a lens. Their experiences of what they're coming across is different, to where they're not living a perfect life, obviously, but they're able to actually get some type of companionship, even if it's for a short time. Most of these people are still oblivious to, doomer truths, black pill truths that, you know, the more unattractive that you are as a man, you're going to be seen as a liability. You're going to be viewed as someone who can be threw away at will. And that's the saddest part about being a man that's growing up in this society, aging. You have no type of real relationships. You have no time to develop a bond with a woman. And this is why so many men are insecure on this topic of talking about their faults, and how the fact that them not having a woman in their life that really cherishes them, them not being able to have any type of real intimacy, an actual good communication with a woman that can last for a longevity of time. It's hurting them because that's how men have just grew up, having things like this in their life. And when you see society rapidly changing to where they forego social norms of men and women having certain roles in society that they're supposed to abide by to make it a healthier world, you always see things going just backwards. This is why as a man in today's society, it is just more safer for you to isolate yourself from the remnants of the world nowadays, because you're going to be met with just a lot of resistance, because your mind is thinking on a different level, and you can see the issues of how dating is just horribly affecting them. Let a guy go somewhere to a therapy session and tell his therapist that he's severely sad, depressed about not having a woman, a significant other in his life. He's sad that his family is disrespecting him, punking him, bossing him around. And you're going to find that these people are just going to throw medications down their throat and just victim shame them and make them feel like they're the issue to everything around them, when in reality, the world that they're experiencing is the issue. The environment is the issue that you're growing up in as a man. The fact that you aren't getting enough emotional care, the fact that you aren't getting enough understanding, the fact that you don't have people that you can trust in your life is really debilitating. So what else is there left? Nothing else but you just getting away from everyone, doing your best to cope in this life with whatever you can. And some people might disagree with isolation and say that, oh, that's very bad for the mind as well. And yes, isolation can be bad for the mind, especially if you haven't gotten used to being around yourself and if you have no human type of interactions. This is why you see so many men are suffering, because they don't have the type of outlets that modern women have, to where whenever they feel bad, they can immediately just go to someone and cry that they trust, most likely, that won't judge them. Not saying that people don't judge women when they're complaining as well, but when women complain, they are mostly heard and they get satisfied even when nothing satisfies them. For men, you were told that you have to grind up top. You were told that you have to grapple. You have to pray for a woman to give you a chance. And these are the type of things that are messing up in our society. These are the type of things that really just mess with a man's mind. It makes him feel like he's inferior. It makes him not want to get up and go to some repetitive job to where he's getting paid hell all hardly to survive in this world. Most men can't even afford their own houses. Heck, anyone can't even afford their own houses nowadays, to where most people in the United States, due to inflation, are living with people. Whether that might be one person, that might be family, if they're still tolerating you being a doomer type of man, you're still having to live within someone else's house. And this can be very hard on a man's sanity, because naturally, as a guy, you want to have good things happen to you. You want to be able to build your life and put in some results and actually see the results of it being good for you when you put in any type of progression. And you always have these people say that men aren't trying their hardest enough, when you've done everything in life. And I want you to imagine this, if you're a person that's coming across this video from the standpoint of, imagine doing every little thing that you can possible to build and elevate your life, and you still don't get anywhere. That stuff is enough to break anyone. And this is what most people don't understand, what most modern men go through, is that they're very alone. That's why so many men are becoming just so mentally insane and warped and heartless, because there's nothing left for them to appreciate. So this is why I tell you guys as well, take care of your mental health, because dating and dealing with modern women can literally lower your lifespan and put you in a mental hospital. So that's why you always have to do things best you can to cope and try to build some type of financial gain in your life, so you can be able to move away from all this nonsense, so you can have some type of peace left in your life, because that's all we can really do as men. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me what else you guys want me to elaborate on in the comment sections. I would appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. And like I always tell you guys, stay away from the modern woman. Thank you.